Hi guys. So I'm I've got the lead wires soldered to the push terminals, and I didn't make a video of that because I'm gonna tell you it was just frustrating as hell uh, trying to get down in there. So what I ended up having to do was I ended up having to take the nut and the washer and the solder tab back off and pull the terminal out. And what you do is on these particular push terminals, I got these 4 gauge. If you can see, the wire sits in between them, and then you crimp that in place, and then you cut off you trim what you don't need off, and then what I do is I put them in there, and I crimp them in place, and then you solder that, and then you go back and cut off what you don't need. So it's just too hard to get in there and do it while they were mounted. Like I said, it's real tight in here. So I didn't do that because, like I said, it was really just frustrating to do it. We made for an overly long video. And on a different basket and stuff, on some of the next ones that I start building, I'll actually do a video showing you guys how to do that. So anyways, like I'm going to go with that tall row cone. I was going to go with the fatter version of this. The rows are just a little bit taller than that, but it's fatter. But I didn't want to lose the cone area. Plus, like I told you, when you neck this out, when you start necking it out, like by taking like a dowel rod or a round shafted screwdriver or anything and just start going around it, what happens is this lip, starts sticking up. Like it makes a lip and then you have to cut it off flat. This cone is about, I think I measured it and it was about a 1/2 inch deeper than the cone that I'm using. So I would end up having to cut more off the bottom, and that would have made the hole even a little wider, which isn't really a problem. Because what you can do, you can go back in and put string or some thick string or some small rope in there to fill the gap up if it's a little gap around the coil, the former of the coil to the inside of the cone. Like DD and all them does that. I'm sure they still do it. But anyways, this cone fits and leaves just, maybe 1/8 of an inch now that it's all trimmed down between the former or the triple joint, when it goes around the former. So I'll show you. Like I said, this is the one we're going to go with. And I've already necked it out like I showed you in a previous video, but it fits on there real nice. And what you want to do, like I said, is want to make sure that your notches in your surround lines up with the holes in your basket. And again, like I said, I taped the lead wires to the former. Keeps them out of the way. It helps to, when you're, instead of having to try to fish them up after the fact. I know some people that will fish them up once the cone's on, but to me, I've always just taped them because, it holds them there, keeps them out of the way, and like I said, just make sure everything is lined up. So, at this point, like I told you, as you can see, the former doesn't move until it gets about 1/8 of an inch, and then the former will start moving. So, it fits real nice. So, at this point, what I'm going to do, since all this is all cured up, I'm going to put clamps all around it, to hold it down in place to where it needs to be. And then I'll go back and put a thin bead of CA to the former and the cone here, all the way around, just to hold that in place. And once I've done that, then I'll untape my leads here, and I'll wrap the coil wire around the spider leads, down real far. I'll do that. And then I'll make a video. We'll solder them up. And then after that, I will encapsulate, like I'll flood this upper joint with epoxy. Once that is done, and it's set up for about 30 or 40 minutes, what I can do is come back and take my clamps off. I'll fold the surround back and put my glue bead all the way around, and then clamp this back in place for, like another 30 or 40 minutes, so that it's nice and solid up there. After all that, I will come back and I'll cut my former down because everything will be really solid at that point. I'll come back at that point because then I can take the shims out. Everything will be set, and I can cut my former down really close, and then put the compression cap on. So I'll go over all that in some videos. I just sorry I didn't do the push terminals because I'm gonna tell you, like I said, it was just really a pain in the ass, and it just would have made for a good video, and it would have been overly long. So essentially, this is what it's going to look like at this point. I'll stop this video and I'll get it set up to go ahead and glue this joint up. We'll do another video, glue this up, and so forth. So I will see you on the next one.